law of attraction and its response to this powerful you that you have become creates a current that feels to you like a river or stream that is always moving in the direction of that which life has caused you to become. And when you let yourself go with that flow, you feel those emotions that you describe as positive emotions. But when you're turned upstream in opposition to that current, you feel it in your body. You feel it in every fiber of your being. You feel it because you're not letting yourself be who you are. And that contradiction in energy tears you apart. It makes you miserable. It messes up your body. It ruins your life to some degree. It keeps you from being who you are. The way you feel is everything, because the way you feel is your indication of whether you're closing the gap between who you're letting yourself be and who you really are, or whether you're widening the gap. And you're going to get so that you can feel statement by statement, whether it's downstream or upstream, downstream or upstream. The downstream statement always feels like relief. You got here, and there were so many other dysfunctional people around you who had already lost sight of their own guidance system, who said to you, most of you, I am a very conditional lover and liver of life, which means good conditions make me feel good, but bad conditions make me feel bad. So these are the rules for the good conditions that I need to extract from you. And since you're in my life, I'll be looking at you quite a lot. Since I am your employer, or since I am your mother, or since I am your father, or since I am your teacher, I have been assigned the task of looking at you. And when I look at you, I want to feel good. None of you came forth with the intention of listening to anyone outside of you. Every one of you knew that life would cause you to expand, and that that expanded being would call you. And when you go in the direction of that expansion, that you would feel good. You know what would make your life really wonderful right away? Is if you could just accept that everybody is in this life for themselves. When someone is in alignment and holding you as their object of attention and appreciating you, then all that source energy is flowing right through them, right to you. But you don't need someone else to flow it to you, because your source is always flowing it directly to you too. But a really fast way for you to hook into that is by flowing it towards someone else. Most people are looking out there for someone to shine a positive, good feeling spotlight on them. But if instead you are looking for someone to shine it on, it always works for you. You just can't love and appreciate without syncing up. And you always feel good, don't you? Yeah.
Yes. So when you say to look for love where it really is, that's the easiest way to do it, is to give the love yourself.
Yes. And here's the law-based understanding behind that. The way you set your own tuner or your own receptor is by what you broadcast. So if you're appreciating, then you've set your tuner for that, and you're more likely to be appreciated. If you're criticizing, you've set your tuner for that, so you're more likely to be criticized.
Because when I'm alone, I'm in control of my vibration, but then I let other people...
This is really good.
When I introduce other people into the equation, it triggers something inside of me.
It's the most important thing anyone has ever said. When I get off to myself, I do a better job of hooking up with my own resources. But when I'm with others, I fall into the pattern of trying to get the resources from them. Don't you just love that? Yeah. So get away, hook up to your resources, then dart in, and when that sucking sound starts coming, go screaming into the woods. The process goes like this. Life and struggle and contrast and knowing what I don't want caused me to put a whole bunch into my vibrational reality. So it was real no matter what I was doing. This reality was real, and the cooperative components were being gathered whether I was ready or not. I wasn't ready, but the cooperative components were being gathered, because when I ask, it is given. So I was asking, not even knowing I was asking, just knowing what I didn't want. So I was asking for what I did want over and 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 over again, wanting to be an influencer for good, wanting to be of value to the world, wanting to make a boatload of money, wanting. So cooperative components being gathered. So step 1, step 2, step 3, we're speaking from your point of view. I took a sort of unconventional path into getting into the receiving mode, but I did release resistance through my coma, and I did find step 3. And so then, because I'd ask and it was already given, I let it in. Did you all hear?
And I went from emptiness to wholeness.
Yeah.
I went from
Fullness.
lack to completely fulfilled and satisfied and grateful, like to my core. And my whole family actually reunited because of what happened.
Yeah.
And
a lot of stuff in your vortex, wasn't there?
oh, yeah.
A lot of asking. A lot of asking. You live in a world where you're translating vibrations through your senses, and you can see that the effort to move that chair from there to over there accomplishes something. So there is this effort that gives you immediate results that you begin to believe in, but there is a vibrational alignment that gives you such leverage results that we want you to demonstrate to yourself too. We're not trying to talk you out of action, and we're really not trying to talk you out of effort. We just want you to use the energy that creates worlds in the way that you intended. Most people don't line up their energy, create a sort of mess with their thoughts, and then use their effort to try to clean up the mess. We are not challenging the idea of action at all. We are just submitting that when you reach for the high-flying disc first, that when that's what matters most to you, and you get good at it, then the inspired action that will come from that will feel effortless. Anytime anything feels like efforting, may not even be a word, but she likes it. Efforting. Every time I'm efforting, she says, I know I haven't done the energy work. If I'm efforting, I haven't done the energy work. And sometimes she's been saying to us, Abraham, you know, I get it that you want us to be on the high-flying disc and the inspiration will come from that. And oh, how I love that feeling, she says. But there are some things that I have to do today, whether I'm on the high-flying disc or not. I got to do it today. It's due today. Whether I'm on the high-flying disc or not, I have to do it today. So what can I do to get on the high-flying disc? And then she says, and isn't that sort of efforting? If I'm doing a focus wheel to get on the high-flying disc, or if I'm deliberately thinking, and we say, that's as far as we would like you to take your efforting. The way we've been telling this law of attraction story lately is it's as if you walk into this segment and you've got a bag of marbles, and this bag of marbles contains all your active vibrations. Now, how did this bag of marbles become your bag of marbles? Well, everything that you lived sort of contributed to it. When you were little, things your mother said. You came away with a bag of marbles just from a little bit of time with your mother that we don't have enough money. Money's hard to get. Some people have money. They're not nice. We don't like the people that have money, but we want money. And so you can see how this combination of marbles can become sort of complicated. Now, all the marbles in your bag aren't activated at all times. But the marbles that are activated are the ones that are causing the point of attraction that you've got going at any point in time. You gathered up your marbles, not really knowing you were doing it, just by seeing and hearing and smelling and tasting and touching. And the thing about these beliefs that you keep thinking, that's what those active vibrations are. The thing about them is, they feel really real to you. They are. And they feel accurate to you. They are. Because you believe them. And because you believe them, a belief is just a thought you continue to think. You activate them often, and the law of attraction matches how you feel. So you keep proving to yourself that there's not enough money. You keep proving to yourself that money's hard to get. And you talk to each other about it and convince each other about it. And so you've got this belief that doesn't serve you. If you accept that you have a bag of marbles, and rather than trying too hard to calibrate or coordinate your bag of marbles with everybody else's, if you are instead calibrating your physical human bag of marbles with that of your inner being, that is really utilizing your guidance system effectively.
It's all true. Everything you said was true about the vortex. So, but the thing was, is I forgot how I got in there. When I was in there, I felt it. I was there consistently. A few things I ignored, though. I was sort of kind of offering some out of the vortex behavior. So when I got sucked out of the vortex, I got taken to my knees.
You said something that we were hearing and feeling from people all over the world as they were having glimpses of the vortex and occasional excursions into the vortex and happy rendezvous with what is in their vortex, but not maintaining it in a consistent way, and having the experience when they're thrown out of the vortex of feeling like they were sort of getting beat up on a little bit. To prepare my vibrational stance, to get myself ready for the receiving of what's in the vortex. It's a step that's logical to you, that if you put it into that context, it makes it easier, because there is a lot of tension in realizing that everything I want's in the vortex and who I really am is in there too, and now I got to get in there. I got to get in the vortex. Where what we're wanting you to do is, rather than trying so hard to get into the vortex, to just prepare yourself so that what's in the vortex can logically and naturally and gently and steadily, chronically flow to you. And preparing that grid really is all about ease. It's all about relaxing. Doesn't have to happen now. Everything in perfect order. I like the next logical step idea. I don't have to rush this. I'm figuring this out. Not about gotta get in. It's about preparing yourself. It's like clearing the resistance to allow what's there to flow in. Whole different feeling. You're going to relax your way into the allowance of it. Relax your way into it.
Okay, so that's my answer.
Ease,
relax and
ease, and balance. Not struggle and trying. Ease and balance.
It's a little lonely out there, far on the leading edge.
There's never a crowd on the leading edge, but there's certainly enough to be interesting. It's interesting, sometimes a little bit of interaction with someone who hasn't quite got it all figured out can cause some more bounces, some more rockets of desires, some more clarification. Esther, just really recently, came into an awesome awareness that even when she thinks about other people, her expectation of others does affect what comes to them. When you are an uplifter, it's so satisfying to be aware of the upliftment that you are emphasizing, yes? There was a process at the time that we were calling scripting, where you just write a scenario the way you want it to be.
I do this, and it's worked incredibly well.
So Audrey began doing this scripting where she just wrote a story about herself or about someone she cared about or about one of her clients, where she just told the story the way she wanted it to be. And amazing things began to happen in their experiences. This vibrational reality that you've created, there's all kinds of people that you've put in there. People who you care about, who are in there. You care about them. And so you must find satisfying thoughts about them. And sometimes they don't behave in satisfying ways. Which means you've got to find a way to be satisfied anyway. You can't rely on them to behave in satisfying ways. And that's what makes you sort of want to throw some people out of your experience altogether, because you care about them and they misbehave, and then you feel bad and you think you have no control. But you do. You have control. You can be satisfied about them even when they're misbehaving. You've created a vortex, and your inner being knows your innermost desires. Your inner being knows what you care most about. Your vortex has been pre-prioritized for you. All of the cooperative components have been gathered, and some of them are readier to pop than others. Have you taken the time to identify and isolate and practice what the feeling of satisfaction really is?
I'll get the impulse to listen to the impulse. It comes at the right time. The universe delivers at the right time, and to listen and to follow. Stop thinking so much.
And isn't it logical that when you get good at that, that it's just impulse follow, bam, impulse follow, bam, impulse follow, bam.
Got a couple of things. I was in the hot seat here earlier this year with you, and we were talking about that I had met someone, and you said that it was a little like looking at love in all the wrong places, and it certainly was. It was quite a big surprise to me. So my question to you is,
so often, you all are in a hurry to get to the manifestation, and we get that.
well, that sort of steps in line to the next question, which was,
You know.
I've been unemployed for a year, and I've been trying to focus on how to
But still, would you
vibrate.
acknowledge that the majority of your thoughts are on what's missing rather than on what's coming?
Yes, but I've spent a whole year trying to shift that.
Well, maybe it would be better for you to get off the subject. Completely off the subject.
Okay.
Because when you're fixated on something that feels stuck to you, and then you try harder, all you do is amplify the way you're already feeling. So focus on something that's working or on something else that's easier. You got to be satisfied where you are and eager for more. But if there's dissatisfaction where you are, you can't get what you want. You got to be satisfied with what is. And so some people, that frightens them. Say, you want me to be satisfied with the absence of my money or the absence of my mate or the absence of a job that's real? You want me to be satisfied with that? Well, that seems counterintuitive, doesn't it? But you've got to be satisfied. Otherwise, you can't get tuned in. Dissatisfaction will keep you out of the receiving mode. So here you are. Your inner being's calling you toward this relationship, but you can't hear it because of where you are. So then, you decide to just let that go for a while. You decide to focus on your work, which is easy for you to feel like this. Or you decide to focus upon the beautiful day. And it's easy for you to be there. So you're focusing consistently, not just in a spattering way. You're focusing consistently on things that are causing you to feel better. And now your inner being's still calling you about your relationship, but now you're up there where you can hear it.
Oh.
So you got that, didn't you? Just get happy and you'll hear. And the results will please you.
How do I get out of my own way?
By looking out ahead.
Okay.
Don't look at your feet anymore. Don't try to stop momentum. That's what makes you think you can't do it. That's what makes you think you're doing it wrong. That's what makes you think it's too hard. You're trying to stop momentum that is already in motion. Don't worry about stopping it. Let it play out. It's not going to be that bad. Let it play out. Let the momentum play out and put your energy, your mindset, your determination toward getting new energy started. So instead of saying, I'm going to try to get my body to stop hurting, start saying, oh, this feels good. Oh, that tastes good. Oh, this is relaxing. Oh, this is a good thing. Get that momentum going. And it is our promise to you, with far less attention than you have put into almost anything else that you are doing, you will begin to dovetail with this energy that creates worlds, and you'll begin to feel momentum. And it won't take long before you'll begin to feel a sort of invincibility. You'll feel so invincible that you'll be watching something on television that's not going your way, and you'll say, I want, and when it happens, you'll say, thank you very much. Thank you very much.